Good morning. I'm Luke Caruso. I'm a graduate of Brecksville High School, class of 1971, and it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce Ed Sustersic as a new member of the Gallery of Achievement for Brecksville High School, Brecksville Broadway Heights High School. Ed Sustersic may be a familiar name to you, one that you recognize, but do you know why? Well, every day when you enter the cafeteria, you walk by a photo of him with a bunch of names of student athletes on brass plaques that were given for Boy and Girl Athlete of the Year. Do you know where that's at? The Ed Sustersic Athlete of the Year Award. This award was established in 1968 after Mr. Sustersic passed away. He passed away in his early 40s, but he had already made a significant impact on the Brecksville schools and the students and athletes that he instructed. He began his teaching and coaching career with Brecksville in 1958 as a junior high school social studies teacher and assistant varsity baseball coach. In succeeding years, he also taught junior high phys ed, driver education, and varsity baseball. In 1961, he became the district's athletic director. Through his efforts, diversity as well as quality became part of our athletic programs. He helped provide opportunities for all who desire to participate in sports through the development of teams at the 8th grade, 9th grade, junior varsity, and varsity levels, and he began the school's wrestling program. He instituted a no-cut policy for all sports except basketball, and he began our intramural programs. He, along with Coach Joe Vanini, began the Brecksville Christmas Wrestling Tournament, as it was known back then, and continues today as the first tournament of its kind. And if you remember back to your years in the central school, or the junior high as we knew it, there was a sign to the left of the stage in red, and it said, "For one great score comes to write against your name. He marks not that you won or lost, but how you played the game." Well, Ed Sustersic truly believed in that saying and instilled it in his students and players. We were truly blessed and fortunate to have Ed Sustersic make such a profound impact on our school district and students. But to get the full impact of Ed Sustersic the man, let me share with you some of his other accomplishments. He graduated from John Marshall High School, got his college degree at Findlay College and his master's from Kent State. He was a volunteer for the YMCA, St. Basil's CYO program, and Brecksville Recreation. And how about this? He won an American Football Conference Championship in 1949 as a member of the Cleveland Browns. How cool is that? In addition, he is a member of the Findlay College Hall of Fame and was inducted as a Greater Cleveland Football Coaches Golden Deeds Award winner. And as an even younger man, he won a Bronze Star in World War II as a member of the Air Force. He was an AAU wrestling champion and boxing champion at Kiesel Air Force Base in Mississippi. Wow. I think you can see why Ed Sustersic was and is so highly regarded. As I get ready to pass the podium over to his youngest son, Tim, I'd like to make a few personal comments about Big Ed. I had the distinct pleasure to live and grow up next door to Ed, his wife Jean, and their sons Ed, Tom, and Mike, since the time I was 5 years old. They became my second dad, mom, and brothers. Whatever Ed and Jean said was as good as if my own parents said it. He instilled values in me that I live by today, and my dad was his best friend. Mr. Sustersic left his footprint in Brecksville schools, countless students and athletes, and a grateful community that more than 50 years later is still significant to those that never had the privilege to know him. So when you walk by going to the cafeteria and you see that photo, keep in mind this is a man that made so many things so good for all of us today that we all enjoy. It is my pleasure to introduce my younger brother, Tim, to accept this award on behalf of his dad. Tim?
You know, as I prepared for this speech, I came into the auditorium and I saw something that would have meant a whole lot to my father. Football jerseys. It's game day. It's Friday in the fall. I want to say good luck to the Bees tonight. Lou, thank you very much for that introduction to my father. On behalf of the Sustersic family, I want to thank the Gallery of Achievement Committee, the Brecksville Broadview Heights Alumni Association, and the Brecksville Broadview Heights High School for honoring my father with his induction into the Gallery of Achievement. My father, Ed Sustersic, was, like Lou said, was part of the Brecksville Broadview Heights community for 10 years until he passed away unexpectedly 52 years ago at the young age of 45. I'm 53 years old, and I'm the youngest of 4 sons who all graduated from Brecksville High School. I have no living memory of my father, so you're probably wondering why I am the one who's up here talking about my father. Well, I believe I have a very unique perspective on the life of my father. I know my father through the memory of others. Their memories are my memories. In our family, my brothers and I are not the biggest talkers. You can just ask my wife, Sarah. So many of the stories that I know about my father come from people outside my family who knew him. The stories come from people who grew up with him on the west side of Cleveland, people during his college years at Findlay College, and from the many teachers, friends, students, and players of my father in the Brecksville Broadview Heights community. I truly cherish the stories that have been told to me about my father over the years, and they're very vivid in my memory today. I'm a lot younger than my older brothers. Many of the people who knew my father don't know me like they know Ed, Tom, and Mike. So when I meet them for the first time and introduce myself to them, they'll almost always say, "Tim, you know this one time your dad?" And then they'll tell me a story about a personal experience they had with my dad. When they do it, they're always smiling and telling me the story with such enthusiasm. He comes alive during these stories. I can see it, I can feel it, and I can sense it in their words. It makes me so proud. Why do people continue to speak and honor my father even today? Who was this guy? The other inductees today that I see, he was a difference maker just like they are. There are people in this world who are truly difference makers when you meet them and you know it. And I believe my dad was one of those people. He made an impact on so many people's lives as a teacher, as a coach, or as a friend. He was the teacher you look forward to going to his class every day. He was the coach who motivated, inspired, and led his athletes and teams to strive to always do their best. And he was the friend who people were always happy to see. My dad was also personally humble. He had personal experiences in life that my brothers and I never knew until many years after his passing. I guarantee he would always be prouder of the students, athletes, and teams he taught and coached than any personal award he may have received. For example, Joe Vadini and my father started the Brecksville Holiday Wrestling Tournament back in 1961 when my father was athletic director. They did it to raise money for the athletic programs at Brecksville. If he could see it today, he wouldn't be proud of the fact that he founded it, but he would be proud of all the people over the years from the Brecksville Broadview Heights community that have made it the amazing wrestling tournament it is today. I think people telling me stories of how my father made a difference in their lives is a way of them thanking my father. I know that everyone here can think of people that have made a true difference in their lives. And if you would do me the favor today to honor my father, please thank a difference maker in your life. And when you thank them, please talk to them. Don't text them. Don't tweet at them. Don't send them a message on Instagram. Talk to them. Let them hear it, see it, and sense it. Again, on behalf of my father, on behalf of my family, for honoring my father, Ed Sustersic, I thank you.
Let's have one more round of applause for all the inductees.